What a fantastic job you did in
Thank you very much.
And
Thank
I
you.
wanted to ask you first off, what are your earliest memories of Moby Dick? Did you read it as a child or in school?
No, unfortunately I did not read it as a child. The first time I obviously heard about this film was when I got sent the script, and I loved the script, and I obviously had to Skype with Ron and go through that whole process. And then when I got the part and started preparing, I was given a huge stack of books, which I had to work my way through, and Moby Dick was one of them. And I'm not going to lie, I unfortunately didn't finish it. I resorted to the film. But it's such an incredible story, and a story of this sort of magnitude gives us the motivation to give it everything that we've got, you know, and make sure that we did justice to these men and gave a very real performance.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because these are men, you know, that did this for a living. You know, they go out to sea, risk their lives, said goodbye to their families. They were there for years on end, whatever. I mean, huge responsibility or what to take on a role like this? Massive responsibility, really. And the reason being is because these are real men. It's not like we're making a piece of fiction. This actually happened to 21 men. And my character in particular is a 14-year-old boy. And the idea that what these men went through happened to a little kid, to me, is ridiculous. I can't quite imagine what it would have been like for poor little Nickerson. And the fact that these were real people, it gave Ron sort of the drive to make sure that every aspect of this film was real. From the sets, from the performances, from our bond with all the other cast. And he was very, very driven about making this film a real experience for audiences. Okay, so let's talk about the real experience and your preparation for this, because my goodness, I hope you got paid well. You know, my God, what you guys went through. Just tell us a little bit about the preparation. The preparation is what really made this movie. It wouldn't have been possible without the preparation that the cast did, the crew, and also, of course, Ron. A film of this size deserves a crew that are going to work as hard as possible, and it deserves a director as skillful and as amazing as Ron. But the preparation sort of started with reading and looking into the history and finding out what it is that these men went through, just to be a whaler. This is before we studied the sort of weight loss and being emaciated. We then physically had to get into shape and go to the gym, which was great fun for me, apart from when I had to train with Chris. Because that's kind of, I mean, I'm never going to win in that battle, no? So that wasn't really that fun. You're going up against Thor, come on. I know. I mean, there's not much I can do but try my best, which I will always do. But, and then we had to learn how to sail a ship. We all sort of got together and we were sent to this like sailing school and learned how to tie knots and lower the masts and change the course of the sail, I believe it was called. And it was a whole collection of things, really, that made us well-rounded sailors, in a way. And that whole process brought us all closer together and made filming a lot easier. Yeah, and it's the kind of movie where, you know, if I hate water, I need not audition. Are you a water guy? I mean, come on, you guys were put to the test beyond belief in this movie. Yeah, but rightly so, you know. I think to do justice to what these men went through and to make sure that we made a real film that audiences could really experience, to me it almost felt like if I wasn't trying my hardest and if it wasn't incredibly tough, then I wasn't doing it right. And the water was tough, but I mean, I was 16 at the time, and it's great fun. I mean, I'm doing stunts, I'm being hurled around, I'm learning how to scuba dive, and it was really a dream come true. And also, I was doing it with great guys like Thor and Chris. I mean, it's the best. And to have Ron Howard at the helm makes everything better, you know. And I was just so privileged to be a part of this crazy experience. Who got seasick the most? Hemsworth. No, he didn't. Of course he didn't. He's a god. No, actually, I got sick for the first 2 days. And then they gave me this, like, pill, and like, listen, this will make you feel better. But it was really like a drowsy pill. So I just, like, slept all day. And then towards the end of the shoot, out in La Gomera, it was also towards the end of the diet, and I hadn't had sugar for a long time. And, like, I'd even cut sugar out of my tea, which is, like, it's amazing for me. I love sugary tea. But I was so fed up one day, and I went to the crew catering and stole a croissant. And I ate the croissant secretly. No one knew about this, but my body was like, no, gotta go, and I just threw up over the side of the boat. And everyone was like, how are you throwing up? Surely there's nothing
for you to throw up because you're not eating anything. And I was able to like blame it on seasickness and be like, yeah, no, I don't eat anything. I'm really good at the diet. But no, it was tough, but all for the right reasons, you know.
500 calories a day, wow. And then working out, and then making this film and being out. That's rough.
Yeah, it is tough. But we were with a great group of guys. We were all doing it as a team, and yeah, there was a bit of competition here and there, and it was kind of like being part of a rugby team and going on like a rugby tour, you know. And it was a very special experience, and the weight loss is really what brought us actors closer together. And as I'm sure you've seen in the film, it kind of makes the film, the relationships that you see on screen. And it was also just really fun as much as it was painful.
Yes. Okay, there's a scene in this movie that everyone's talking about, and of course you know where I'm going, but your character needs to get down inside the head of a whale. Now we know this is movie making, but
Yeah.
you know, it's Ron Howard. He makes it realistic. That was disgusting, my friend. Can you talk about that scene, please?
You think it was disgusting? No, it was, I mean, I remember reading that scene, and sometimes I skim read a script, and I'm reading through, and I read the page, and I was like, wait a minute, what? I couldn't quite understand that this is something that people would do. So even the idea of me filming it sounded ridiculous, but Ron was obviously so sort of keen on making everything real that he'd had a whale built, like a big prosthetic whale, and we had it on the ship, and there was like a hole, which was only just big enough for me to sort of go through, and I was covered in all this lube and stuff, and I had to like go in, and the problem is not when we were actually filming the scene, is when they'd say cut, and I had to then clamber back out. But because I was so sort of slippery, I'd sort of get halfway out and then slip right back in again. So I spent 20 minutes after the first take stuck inside the head of the whale. They had to throw a rope down and pull me out. And it was like being born, like 20 times a day. It was a weird day. It was a very strange day.
And then you had to do it again.
Yeah, well, Ron... I remember it was about 2 days afterwards, and Ron came up to me, and he wasn't himself, really. He wasn't his sort of like happy chappy self. I was like, you all right, Ron, what's up? You okay? He was like, yeah, Tom, listen, look, you know that scene we shot the other day? And I thought he was about to say it was really good and he was happy with it. And I was really excited. He was like, could we shoot that again? And I thought he was joking. I was like, nice. No, seriously, can we shoot that again? And we did. And my brother Sam actually came to watch that day, and he loved it. He loved watching me suffer. So I'm glad one of us enjoyed that day. But Ron was very sympathetic. Not sympathetic enough to join in and to give me direction inside the whale's head. But it was a crazy day.
How did you and the guys keep your spirits up?
I think we just knew that we were making such a fantastic movie. And one of the things that makes Ron so special is he brings a level of calmness to the set. He's so prepared that he's able to relax and knows exactly what he has to do. And with anything that goes wrong, he always has a contingency. And that gives us the time to relax and to then trust him. And when you trust your director and when you know you're making a good movie, hard work doesn't feel like hard work. It feels like it's right, you know. And also we were a group of guys just on a Ron Howard film. I mean, how lucky. I mean, you can't do any better than that. So
Wow.
It was an amazing experience.
Yeah, I can't leave today without just mentioning congratulations to you. You're going to be the next Spider-Man. And I know, listen, everybody is so excited. How does that feel? How does that feel?
I still can't quite believe that it's happened. It's been a dream of mine since I was a little boy, and he's always been my favorite. And the fact that I've been given this opportunity, I feel honored and privileged, and I can't wait to do him justice and to just get to work on it. You know, I've been reading comics relentlessly, and it's been. I really can't wait to get to work on it.
Well, we can't wait to see you in that. But first off, what a tremendous job you've done.
Thank you.
Ever since I talked to you and met you for the Impossible, I mean, really, you're such a wonderful young man.
Thank you
such
very
a
much.
Great actor.